Yes, people, welcome to the Carabao Cup Final preview show. We're going to get into a few things on this show. We're going to get into my predicted starting 11, who I'd go for. So that predicted 11 is not going to be what I think Arteta will go for, it's what I will go for. We're going to get into a scoreline prediction and then just my kind of thoughts around the competition and kind of how I see things going. But I want to get into my thoughts about it first. Look, we all know it's not the major trophy. Do you know what I mean? It's not the Premier League. It's not the Champions League. I feel like the FA Cup even holds more weight than the Carabao Cup. However, the position we've been in as Arsenal fans of recent times, it's been over 20 years since we've won the Premier League. More than 2 decades. We've never won the Champions League. We've picked up a few FA Cups during this time, but do you know what I mean? We're not flooded with silverware over the past couple of decades. So I don't think it's a competition we can stick our noses up at. I don't think it's a competition we can overlook. I don't think it has a bearing on the league form. I feel like we're professional enough as a team and have enough kind of resilience in our team to carry on our league form and keep doing what we're doing. So I don't think this result has a bearing on the league. And I say that for 2 reasons. One is because I think we've matured as a team. We're harder to beat, we're harder to break down, and we see our results better. So I think that will carry us through in the Premier League to come over the line. And secondly, I think it's because of City's recent form and them dropping points. I feel like that gap that's open now, look, we're 9 points clear at the top. I know they've got a game in hand and we have to play them, but I feel like that gap's given us a bit of breathing room. So I feel like the importance of this game in terms of it being a marker for the Premier League has kind of gone a bit. So I just wanted to get that kind of out there. But this is what's going to happen. Sorry, I keep looking over there again because the missus has gone out and I've got the 2 baby monitors on, so I'm just making sure they're okay. But I'm trying to keep the volume a bit down on this one so they don't wake up. So this is what's going to happen, and we all know this is what's going to happen. If City win it, the media is going to run wild, as they do, because we all know the media, they're all against Arsenal. They always are, and they always have been. Do you know what I mean? It's just outright it's just like almost like a witch hunt against Arsenal. So if City win, it's going to be, the momentum swings to City, the title race is back on, blah, blah, blah. If Arsenal win, it's going to be, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any bearing on the title. It doesn't have any bearing on the rest of the season. So we all know that's kind of going to be the mantra for it. And we all know the latter is true. I think if City loses, I don't think it affects their league form. I think that it doesn't further put doubts in their head whether they can win it. I think they just are where they are with it. And if Arsenal win it, I don't think it does anything for our league, our Premier League title hopes. I think that is what it is. But what I do think it will do is I think it will give us that pushes in. Okay, there's a lot of expectation on this season. We've come into it from a standpoint in the summer where Liverpool have had a fantastic summer. I know it hasn't worked out in terms of the gelling of the players and injuries and things, but they had a fantastic summer. We were probably behind them in terms of who had the best summer. I think we addressed positions better and addressed what our team needs better than what Liverpool did. However, I feel like in terms of kind of star names and what was brought in, I feel like Liverpool just edged it. And you can toss a coin on that. I think people could say it goes either way. Look, we've overcome that. We overcame the resurgence of a City, especially since January, and them kind of adding Semenyo and Gay to their team and what they've done. So we've shown that we are a different animal, and this is a different Arsenal. I don't think this is the Arsenal of old. I don't think this is the Arsenal even of last season or a couple of seasons ago. I think it is a different animal, and I think we play in a way that we know when we have to be gritty and see out games. We know when we have to rely on set pieces to see out games. We also know when we can go and play like we did against Bayer Leverkusen, where we were resilient for the first 15, 20 minutes in the first half. We kind of saw it out. And then, there's space to play now. Declan Rice got on the ball. Eze was getting on the ball. Gyökeres was fantastic in that game. The runs he was making. Saka had a better game. Ben White was doing well in that game with the overlaps and things like that. So I think that we kind of know when we can play, but I think we also don't try to overplay in games where we could get exposed. And I think that's kind of a more maturity level that we've seen in Arsenal. With that being said, I think if we can win this and we get over the line in this, look, it's a good market, you know what I mean? And that's one trophy wrapped up before the season's over. And then if we can do what we are kind of on course to do in the Premier League, which is get that as well. That'd be 2 trophies wrapped up, and we're still in the FA Cup and we're still in the Champions League. Now, I'm not sitting here saying we're going to win a quadruple. Yeah, it's not in my thinking. I don't think we do it. I don't even think we'll win a treble, whether it be a domestic treble or like however you want to mix it up. But what I do think is it just puts us in a kind of good stead in terms of what we want to achieve, and having tasted that success and having tasted with this group of players that this is what it feels like to win a trophy. This is what it feels like for the fans to see you guys win a trophy. So I think it's important in that aspect. But yeah, I'm not even going to downplay the competition. Look, we're not flooded with silverware. We can't turn our noses up it. Me as an Arsenal fan, I'm taking it very seriously. I want to win it. I really want to win it. I want to win it as much as the FA Cup. If someone said to me now, would you take guaranteed Premier League over winning on the weekend? 100%. If someone said to me, would you take guaranteed Champions League over winning on the weekend? 100%. But that's just because they're two bigger, more recognised accolades for the end of the season. But this game I'm taking very seriously, especially because it's against Man City, and I kind of want to, stick the sword to them a bit and let them know that, look, we are here. It's not just a kind of fad thing we're going through. It's not going to be one of them bridesmaid situations or second again or late. It is not that this is a different Arsenal, a well-structured Arsenal, a well-oiled Arsenal, and we are here to kind of sustain what we're doing and build from it and go on from this and kind of hopefully have a bit of a legacy behind this team and what Arteta and Berta have done and what Edu's done before he left. And I think that we just need to get one over the line and done. And this is such a fantastic competition for that, because it's played, the finals played before the season's over. So it gives you a chance to hold that silverware while you're still building momentum in other competitions. So I think it's really important, and I'm taking it seriously. And I'm on my match reaction on Sunday. If we lose, I won't come on here and try and downplay it and be like, oh, it's only the Carabao Cup and that. I will be genuinely gutted if we do not win this competition, and I'm not going to sit here and hide behind it. That's why I've put it out in this so people can see it. I genuinely really want to win this competition, and I think that we will go on and win it. Let's get into my predicted 11 before I do the score prediction. Okay, so goalkeeper, I think we'll play 4-3-3 as we do, with the kind of different things in there, the double pivot and, Eze floating or our number 10 floating and different things, the fullbacks inverting and things. So we kind of know tactically how we set up, but it's at the base level of it, it's a 4-3-3. Goalkeeper's an interesting one. In all competitions, on a normal day, everyone's fit. I'd always say David Raya. Me personally, I think he's one of the best keepers in Europe at the minute. Shot stopping, claiming from corners, distribution, calmness on the ball. I think he embodies it all. And big saves and game defining saves. He can pull them out the bag. I know Kepa's kind of come in for a lot of. He's played all of the Carabao Cup games up until this point, and under Wenger, I would have said he's going to play Kepa, but I feel like Arteta is a bit of a different animal, and I feel like he will throw sentiment out the window to get this over line. So I'm expecting Raya to play because he is our best keeper, and I'm expecting Arteta to go with that because I think he knows what this means more so to us than City, that we need to get a trophy over the line. So I'm going Raya in goal. The four at the back, Saliba and Gabriel pick themselves. I don't think there's an issue there. Left back. This is on the basis that everyone's fully fit. I would go with Nkapie because I just feel like defensively he's better than Calafiori, even though Calafiori did that fantastic kind of scissor kick save thing against Scorpion kick save thing against Everton. I just feel like Nkapie offers more defensively, and I feel like that Carabao Cup final is the kind of game where you're going to come under the cosh a bit. It's a cup final. You've only got that 90 minutes in extra time to get it right before penalties, and I think that he'll go with some stability because, as we know from Arteta's tactics, we don't go out to play our game against teams. Our game is to nullify teams, tire them out, and then attack. So I think he will go with Nkapie left back, and I would also start with Nkapie left back. Like I said, Gabriel and Saliba in the middle of defence pick themselves. Right back, he's going to go with Jurriën Timber, but I would go with Ben White just because I feel like Ben White Ben White's relationship with Saka is better than Yuri Timber's in terms of productivity and output and creativity. However, Yuri Timber is better defensively, and we know Arteta likes to set up defensively. Yeah, but I'm going to go White. I'm going to go White because I feel like we're going to need that flair in the team. And I feel like Ben White offers that. And also, Ben White isn't he's not bad defensively. He's actually really good. It's just that Timber is exceptional defensively. That's the only issue there. So far we got Royer in goal. We've got Nkapie, uh, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saliba, and Ben White at the back. Two in midfield again picks themselves. Zubamendi and Rice. I feel like the understanding's getting there. I feel like Zubamendi's come through a bit of a rough patch, a kind of a dip in form, a kind of a blip, and now he's really starting to impose himself in games and dictate games. I felt like we saw it a bit in the Everton game. I thought that we saw it in abundance in the first half in the Leverkusen game. And I think that's what he'll go with. And I don't think there's a kind of argument there. Rice is in the form of his life. For me, he's the best in Europe in that position. He's a threat on the counter attack. He's a threat with the through balls, over the top balls. He can score you a goal. He's fantastic at recovery. He's great at kind of sniffing out danger and helping that back line. I just think he's a phenomenal player. So for me, like I said, he's our captain without being the captain, and I'd always start him in any game as long as he's fit. So Declan Rice with Zubamendi, and then I think Eze keeps his place. I think the last two games, Everton, he had a really good game. That Leverkusen game, I feel like he really came to life, and we saw somewhat the Eze that we saw for Palace, and I think that's because he was given a bit more freedom to roam, and he could kind of interchange with the attacking players he had, and he was dropping deep, he was picking up the balls, he was making runs, the 1-2s. I feel like the handbrake was took off him a bit, and I think he's going to have a big end to the season, a big say in what we win and how we do it. And look, we've got no one else like Eze in our team where he can create that something out of nothing, like that goal he scored against Leverkusen. We haven't got another Eze in our team. We just haven't got that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like De Bruyne used to do for City, where he could kind of just create a little something out of nothing, like Aguero used to do for them, like Rooney and Ronaldo and Tevez have done for United. You know what I mean? There's so many examples of it throughout the league over the years. But I feel like, like Salah does for Liverpool. I feel like that's what he gives us. I'm not saying he's on the same level as these players. Don't come at me in the comments and blah, blah, blah. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like he's our player that has that sort of ability. So do we start him? Yes. If Odegaard is fit, does he start? Not for me, because he hasn't really been in form the last few seasons. And I feel like throwing him into a game like this after just coming off the back of an injury, to throw him in a cup final would be wild. So I'm pretty much nailed on sure that Eze will start in the 10. Going with the front line, I'd go Saka on the right. I don't like Nani on the left. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's either playing right wing or he's back up to Saka on the right wing. So I'd go Saka on the right. I would actually go Trossard on the left, just because I feel like if you've got Nkapie behind him, you can do the defensive work and very good. I feel like it frees up Trossard a bit to kind of do that offensive, creative work. He's a very clutch player. He's got a great finish. I think he's one of the best finishers at our club. He can kind of create a little something out of nothing. He's great with the little through balls up top and the 1-2s. He likes to take shots from outside the area, which is something I don't think we do enough. Even though coincidentally we scored 2 against Leverkusen from out the box, but I don't think it's something over the years we've done enough. And I feel like he's willing to take the pot shots. So I would go with Trossard on the left, but I feel like Arteta will go with Martinelli, because Martinelli does a very sound job for Arteta defensively. He will do the dog work, the tracking back, the coming in field, the man marking. He'll help out Nkapie so much that I feel like Arteta will go Martinelli, but I will go with Trossard. That'd be my choice. And up top, I'd go with Gyökeres. I feel like last 2 games he's coming to some form. He got that vital goal against Everton, and I feel like he needs a stage for him to kind of really announce himself for Arsenal. And I feel like this could be that stage. And I think that if he does something in this final, getting a goal, getting a winning goal, getting an equalising goal, I think it can do him the world of good for his confidence boost and kind of go into the rest of the season. And look, we've got Sporting next in the Champions League. That's his old club. I'm sure he wants to go there and prove himself something. If I was Arteta, I'd give him this game and say, look, go out there and show me where you should be my number 9 for the rest of the season, because I've got Gabriel Jesus and I've got Havertz fit now. So you're not guaranteed this spot, but you need to show me something. And I think he will go with Gyökeres. So just to run it through, Royer in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Nketiah at the back, Zubamendi, Declan Rice in the middle, Eze floating in the 10, Saka, Gyökeres, and Trossard up top. And that's how I'd start it, and that's how I'd go. And I think that that's as strong as we can go with who we have available now in terms of match fitness wise. Like, I don't think Odegaard's going to be up to match fitness. Marino's out. We don't know kind of where Timber's fitness is at the minute, so I think that's the kind of starting 11 we can go with. Right, score predictions. I've seen a lot of stuff online. People saying it's going to go to extra time and penalties. I don't think it'll go that far. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I think the first goal in this game is going to be vital. I know it's a cliche in football, but I feel like the first goal in this game is going to be so vital because I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I don't think it's going to be a back and forth game of like 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-4-2. I don't think it's going to be a tennis match again like that. I feel like it's going to be very tactical, very solid. I feel like there's going to be a lot of chess moves kind of made in this game, and I feel like it's going to be a low scoring game. So I feel like whoever gets that first goal wins this game. So I'm hoping it's us. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal as my match prediction, and I'm going to go Victor Gyökeres as a scorer. And I think that's how it'll go. And look, City are there for the taking. You know, that you've seen the Champions League result they had. They've been their form in the league has been up and down, up and down. I personally think it's a game where we can go and impose ourselves and go and play our football, but I don't think Arteta will just because of the way his mindset is. And I understand it. You know, it's a big game for us because we've had such a lack of silverware, especially under Arteta's reign, just that one FA Cup and a Charity Shield or two. So look, I think City there for the taking. I think we will beat them. I'm pretty confident we'll beat them. I think we'll beat them in normal time, in the 90 minutes plus added time. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic game or the best cup final in the world to watch, but I think we'll get over the line. And I think it'll be the first of a few trophies that we'll pick up this season and one more we can bring on the parade. So that's my score prediction. That's my predicted 11. People, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Help me get the views up, help me get the subscribers up so I can start doing some live streams. You know, I keep saying it. And then Sunday we'll do a post-match reaction. So you'll either see me elated, jumping up and down, drinking champagne, or you're going to see me sitting here crying, man. But you'll have to tune in on Sunday for that. Peace, my people.